And burn suppers are going on in almost every single country around the world in this week. And we have a very, very special guest to do the immortal memory to Robert Burns this evening. Bill Foster is one of the founding members of the Halifax Burns Club. He's a great speaker, even though he does drone on a little bit. And I've been reliably informed that he's wearing his adult diaper tonight. So we should be okay on that front too. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Foster.
Good evening. Duncan only knows about the diaper because we were just sharing a cubicle 5 minutes ago. I didn't know how to address this gathering, whether there was a head table or a president or members of the regiment, and so I'll just stick to honoured guests. As Duncan said, there'll be thousands of Burns suppers around the world in the next week or two, and it's been a busy few days for me. On Monday, I presented at the Springfield Penitentiary Old Boys Club. Wednesday, I was at the Halifax Drug Rehab Clinic. And last night, I was at the Dartmouth chapter of Alcoholics Anonymous. So for those of you, like my good friend Duncan and Dick Sylvester, who are listening to me drone on for the 4th time this week, I apologise. It's nice to see so many happy couples, because at the Burns Supper, the Halifax Burns Supper, it's a men-only event. It's really nice to see so many happy couples out here tonight. I feel a little left out because my wife hasn't spoken to me for about 6 weeks, and it's over something silly. We had a little car accident, and just because I didn't open the door to let her out after the accident, she stopped speaking to me. But my first instinct was to swim to the surface. I must congratulate the chap who gave the address to the haggis this evening. Was that you, Duncan? It was excellent. And you're probably not aware that when haggis was first imported to Canada, it was refused entry as a foodstuff, and eventually only accepted when it was classified as a fertilizer. And when you see what tomorrow brings, you may agree. It is one of the world's finest natural laxatives, so don't take a sleeping pill tonight, because you must be awake when the action starts. I was given 5 minutes for an immortal memory, and a great friend of mine, past president and founding member of the Halifax Burns Club, said, "Bill, 5 minutes for an immortal memory? That's an obituary." But here we go. Well, tonight we are gathered in this place to celebrate the life, works and genius of Scotland's national bard, Robert Burns. And it's especially significant here in Nova Scotia, where the Scots have played a major role and woven themselves into the tapestry of this very special province. Robert Burns was born on January the 25th, 1759, and in the short 37 years, he was never able to devote himself to writing full-time. Nevertheless, his pen was prolific, over 700 poems and songs, many written by candlelight after the day's work. His first collection of poems, poems chiefly in the Scottish dialect, known as the Kilmarnock edition, was published on July the 31st, 1786. It was an immediate and overwhelming success. Some believe that Burns achieved achieve true immortality as a songsmith. And this idea has merit when you consider the countless millions of people worldwide that sing Auld Lang Syne, the universal song of parting and memories of days gone by. Hundreds of songs that are still sung today. And form part of the bedrock of Scottish culture. Songs that touch the heart. Songs of love and parting. Songs of rebellion, patriotism, and freedom. Scots understand that he was the man, almost more than any other, who helped to preserve the ancient identity of Scotland when it was most at risk. Burns was touched by genius and brought to the world the joys, sorrows, hypocrisies and wisdom of a small nation. A nation looked down on by the great courts of Europe, the backward, dispossessed partners of an uneven act of union forced on them by the devious actions of their own aristocracy. Robert Burns almost single-handedly rekindled their spirit, dignity and self-respect, and in part because of the unintended consequences of union, the influence of the Scots was to prove to be immeasurable and out of all proportion to their numbers in the development of the world we live in. Burns keenly observed and wrote of every aspect of human behaviour and experience, humour, love, friendship, liberty and freedom, and the fauna and flora of Scotland. His masterpiece is generally considered to be the world's greatest humorous narrative poem, Tam O'Shanter, some of the most evocative lines ever written with regard to the conviviality of the alehouse on a Saturday night, while symbolically illustrating the temporary nature of the alehouse vision of the ideal world. But pleasures are like poppy spread, you seize the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snowfalls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. The simplicity of his love poetry and songs are still regarded as among the finest and most poignant ever written. My love is like a red, red rose, a fond kiss, ye banks and braes of bonny Doon, or were I on Parnassus hill. Though I were doomed to wander on, beyond the sea, beyond the sun, till my last weary sand was run, till then, and then, I love thee, Duncan. Poet of the heart, and it constitutes the very core of his political creed. If happiness had not her seat and centre in the breast, we may be wise or rich or great, but never can be blessed. Need treasures, no pleasures, could make us happy land. The heart, aye the heart, that makes us right or wrong. And in his famous poem To a Mouse, the last verse is laced with brilliant insight and understanding of human nature as he compares himself to the mouse. Still thou art blessed compared with me, the present only toucheth thee, but oft I backward cast my e'e on prospects drear, and forward though I canna see, I guess and fear. And who in this room can say they've never guessed or feared the future? And Burns had reason to fear. He had been a thorn in the side of the establishment, and the church in particular resented the sentiments expressed in some of his poems. A fig for those by law protected, liberty's a glorious feast. Courts for cowards were erected, churches built to please the priest. Burns had little time for the pillars of society and the church, who could not or would not see the social injustice all around them. His vision of a united world, the universal brotherhood of man, his ideals of sincerity, honesty and respect for humble working people, without regard to rank or wealth, was considered by some to be threatening. For thus the royal mandate ran when first the human race began, the social, friendly, honest man, whate'er he be, 'tis he fulfills great nature's plan, and none but he. When proposing the immortal memory, we are reiterating the need to keep alive in our own time the knowledge and love of Robert Burns, the poetry and songs, his ideals and values, the Scotland he lived in, whose customs and traditions have formed the core of one of the three founding cultures of Canada, and to pass this knowledge and love on to those who follow as part of their heritage. The themes he wrote of are not parochial, but universal. The healing power of humour, the beauty of nature, the dignity of labour and self-respect of humble working people, the fundamental right of all to liberty and freedom, the joys and sorrows of human love, and the miracle of birth and the mystery of death. A poet who has the genius to speak, not to some of us, but to all of us, in that deceptively simple yet moving way, is indeed a genius deserving of this annual celebration. And we live in hope that despite all of the atrocities and horrors of the last year, that his vision of the universal brotherhood of man in time comes to pass. Then let us pray that come it may, as come it will for all that sense and worth o'er all the earth may bear the gree and all that. For all that and all that is coming yet for all that man to man the world o'er shall brothers be for all that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Duncan's ignoring my request for a drink, as usual. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding. And join me as I propose the toast to the immortal memory of that greatest of all Scots, Robert Burns. The immortal memory.
Toast to memory of Robert Burns.
Hey! Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure to be here this evening and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.